Today, we're joined in studio right now by Brian Dinkelman, as he does pretty much every homestand. A wild one last night that went to the wind surge 8-7 over Northwest Arkansas. As you heard Tim say there in the promo, the series continues tonight. And before we dig into a lot of the new players, names and faces that Dink will help catch us up on, a quick look at the standings. A rare chance, obviously, for you to root for the wind surge and against Tulsa, Arkansas, and Springfield, who are all ahead of them in the standings because they are playing teams from the South. So if San Antonio, Frisco, and Corpus Christi cooperate and Surge take care of Northwest Arkansas, might have a little bit different vantage point at the end of this homestand. We'll get into that here in just a little bit, but Skip, good to catch up with you. A wild one last night, and you guys kind of stayed with it. You had contributions from everybody. You faced a big leaguer on rehab, and Michael Lorenzen, who I'll talk about here in just a little bit, but just kind of encapsulate that game last night that wasn't over until the very last out.
Yeah, last night was a wild game. Got out to the 4-0 lead early, and then they battled back and got 4 off our starter there in the 5th, and then kind of some weird things happening throughout the game of how they got 2 runs on some pass balls, soft hits, and then we got a couple runs back on some good base running and another pass ball. So, I was able to scrap a couple runs out there in the 8th inning and hold on for the win. So, a good team win last night.
And you get Mike Paredes out there for the final 3. He really had to earn it. He got his 11th win, so he's now 11-0, but he did it the hard way. He went the last 9 outs.
Yeah, the 7th inning didn't go his way. Some cheap things and some unfortunate bounces, but then he was good in the 8th and 9th inning and able to close it out there and get the victory and set the wind surge record for victories.
Okay, so we'll get into the new guys here in a second, but 2 of the the old guys, they're basically their first foray into AA baseball, and that's Culpepper and Jenkins. They did basically what they've done from the very beginning. Jenkins had to wait, obviously, with the injury, and Kalen Culpepper, ever since he's been here, they're both hitting. Culpepper's hitting 346 now after that 3-run home run. And Walker Jenkins, after a slow start, man, you talk about, and I know the season's not over yet, talk about it's not how you start, it's how you finish. He had to wait a long time to do what he's doing, and now he's showing why he's such a big prospect for y'all.
Yeah, with talent like that, you just want them to get out on the ball field and be able to play and let them do what they can do. Being out for over 2+ months, whatever, just get back into the normal routine of a season and every day of playing at bats. And now he's found himself. He's been playing for a while now and feels good. And I think the talent is showing on the field now. Brian
Dinkelman joining us, wind surge skipper. Northwest Arkansas series continues tonight, 7:05 here at the ballpark after the Surge win last night by a score of 8-7. All right, we'll get into the new guys here, and hopefully I'm not leaving anybody out. And they're not all brand new. They're not all via trade, but up to the deadline. And you have to deal with this regardless of where you are, whether you're at Cedar Rapids or here. If Minnesota is active at the deadline, it trickles down to you guys, and it certainly did this year in a big-time way. Let's start with Sam Armstrong. You can just give us a little thumbnail sketch on these guys and what we need to know about them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Sam came from us from the Cubs, started for us last night, did a really good job. Ran into some trouble in the 5th inning there, had a couple walks and 1 home run, kind of hurt him, but strong kid, mixes pitches well, and had a nice first start for us. We're excited to have him.
And some of these guys you've coached at different levels, and now they get promoted. And I want you to give us your general comments on when something like this happens at the big league level, it trickles down to AAA and AA. The Twins, as active as they were, they had to replace those guys with somebody, and most of them, came from AAA St. Paul. With that, you had at least 4 guys, by my count, go from here to there. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in each one of these guys' case, Klein, Fedko, Gonzalez, Stankiewicz, they earned it. It's not just because we had 4 spots that we got to fill at AAA St. Paul. Those guys deserve to be promoted, in my view.
Yeah, all those guys earned their promotion up there. They've played well for us while they've been here. And trades are part of baseball, and you move guys on in that and gives another guy opportunity to get to the next level. And all 4 of those guys have earned the right to get up there to show what they've done this year here in AA, and now see if they can do it in AAA. So exciting for all those guys.
Okay, this guy has been here for a little bit, not very long, but Cade Bragg. talk about him, what he's done for you so far, and what we can expect for him.
Yeah, Kay's been good for us for the few weeks that he's been here since he came up from Cedar Rapids, and done a nice job as a lefty out of the bullpen. A good fastball that I think hitters have a tough time recognizing, adjusting to, and his off-speed stuff's good enough that it makes his fastball play a little bit better. So Kay's done a really good job out of the pen for us.
Henry Mendez, big time prospect as a catcher, although he played a little outfield the other day. Am I right about that?
Yeah, he outfield for us. Came over from the Phillies. For the first 3 games that he's been here, he's had multiple hits, I think, in every game. And, we're excited to have him be part of the middle of our lineup for the rest of the year.
Logan Whitaker, another new guy.
Yeah, just called up from Cedar Rapids Thursday of last week, right after the trades. He pitched for us once down in Amarillo, did a nice job for a couple innings. So another arm in the bullpen to help us out.
Hunter Hoops, another new guy.
Another new guy from Cedar Rapids, another right-hander out of the bullpen. Unfortunate first outing for us. He pitched the second game of the doubleheader at the very end, and we were 1 out away, and they went single home run, and the game was over just like that. But he did a nice job in his second outing, so we're excited for him to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about the second half in general, if you don't mind. You basically, Springfield was a thorn in your side in the first half. It seemed like everything you did, they did just a little bit better. But now in the second half, you got Springfield at the top of the heap, but they're not so far out of touch really with anybody in the North right now. Even with your win over Northwest Arkansas last night, the Naturals only 5 out of first. So it's a real dogfight. And as I mentioned just a little bit ago, I know you guys have to take care of your business and you go from there, but the 3 teams ahead of you are playing somebody in the South. So you got your pom-poms out for the Texas League South this week, right?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of control your own destiny for the rest of the season. We got about 5-6 weeks left. And we still play Arkansas and Tulsa again. So, if we can get some help from some other teams and take care of business this week against Northwest, it'd be a benefit for us, but there's still a lot of baseball to play before the end of the season.
Yeah, Springfield, one of those teams right in front of you. And I talked about this yesterday. Although I'm sure you won't say anything, but as a fan or a media member, this is a big homestand for you guys because your next 12 are on the road.
Yeah. After this one, we go to Springfield for the week and then to Midland. So if we could win this series, it'd be great because, playing on the road is always tough, and hopefully you can go 500 on the road. So get through this week with a winning series, hopefully before we hit the road and come home for that 2-week homestand, which will be a big homestand to finish out the season.
How does the roster dynamic change, or maybe the clubhouse dynamic change with all these comings and goings? How do you manage that?
Yeah, you never know how it's going to go, especially when you get new players in here who have not been part of the organization at all. Meeting new players and teammates for the first time, and just you don't know how it's going to mesh. So I will say this, the guys that are in there that have been here for most of the year have done a good job of welcoming these new guys and make them feel part of the team. And I feel like the vibes in the clubhouse the last couple of days have been really good. Guys are still working and getting along and pulling for each other. So far it's been a good to have those new guys there.
I don't think I've asked you this before. We're talking to Brian Dinkelman, the Windsurge skipper. Those 4 guys that we mentioned, Fedco, Klein, and company, all those guys that went up. How do you go about telling them? Because you hear all these cool stories about the skipper calling the coaches into or the players into the office and breaking the news in one way or the other. How do you handle that?
Yeah, especially with those guys going up like as a full-time promotion that they're not coming back. A lot of times we do like a post-game celebration if we win with everybody in the clubhouse, and we say something about the game, and I usually finish up with announcing these guys are going to St. Paul. So it's a surprise to all of them because they don't know it's coming, and you get to do it in front of everybody. So they're all excited when you announce those guys going up. It's
interesting that you bring it up that, okay, you're going up for good and not necessarily because so-and-so's on the 7-day IL. So I mean, do you get into that dynamic as far as when so-and-so comes off the IL, you might come back here?
Every once in a while, you'll have a situation where the guy's just going up to fill in for a few days. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of let them know, hey, you're going to go up there. It might only be for a couple of days in that until somebody comes back down or off the IL.
Especially pitchers, right?
Yeah, especially for pitchers. Yeah. A lot of times they go up there just for coverage for a day or two, and then they're on their way back. So you try to give them a heads up that way they're not disappointed when they're up there for 3 or 4 days, and all of a sudden they're back here.
Have you reached the dog days yet? Have the pregame BP and PFP been backed off a little bit?
A little bit. We're usually just a couple days a week on the field now. I mean, we're 110 games in, so I think the guys have got a lot of work in, and now you're to the point of the season just trying to keep their bodies fresh and healthy so they can stay on the field for the games.
Nick, thanks for dropping by. Always appreciate talking ball with you. Give them hell the rest of the series.
All right. Thanks, Shane.
All right. Brian Dinkelman joining us, the Windsurge skipper. The Surge win 8-7 last night.